We have arrived at the final installment of the After Hours Till Dawn trilogy, Hurry Up Tomorrow. The last time I made a deep dive into the Weeknd's original trilogy, I'm gonna be honest, not a lot of people saw it. At first, it got like 0 views. I'm not kidding. It had like 2 likes per video, maybe. Some of them had 0. I said, okay, as a content creator, that's not working. Let's move on to something else. But slowly, over time, something weird happened that doesn't normally happen on TikTok. And people were finding my video. And I got a few comments saying, like, I love this series. Please bring it back. Please finish it. And so that's what I'm here to do today. I'm here to finish what I started. And so, without further ado, let's get into Thursday, the second mixtape off the Weeknd's original trilogy. If you want a little more history into the original trilogy, I go very much into detail in the first 5 parts of my series, so you can go back and watch that now. All of the mixtapes were produced by Doc McKinney and Ilangelo. It was released August 18th, 2011 for the first time. It was released for the second time on Trilogy November 13th, 2012, and for a third time on August 18th, 2021 for the 10-year anniversary. It does contain a lot less samples than its predecessor, House of Balloons. However, there are still some songs that he pulled inspiration from for Thursday, and I will be naming as many as I can. The mixtape starts off with the track Lonely Star. The opening part is narrated by Valerie.
I cannot believe I forgot to mention this, but The Weeknd himself has said that in the intro to Lonely Star, it was his voice pitched up. This is also where he confirmed that Lana Del Rey is the girl in his music, basically.
She says, I belong to you, which is a whiteboard moment. We're bringing back the whiteboard. Put that on the whiteboard. I belong to you. He says, promise me when they all love you that you'll remember me. So that's another whiteboard moment that's talking about music industry becoming famous, stuff like that. In this song, he's basically promising her all of the luxuries that he is going to get from being famous. The cars, the jewels, the rugs, the SEX, the house. The house? You mean the house of balloons? Or a new house? I don't know. It's not really specified, but I just want to point out that he says house there. Because, baby, you could be a star if you just roll with me. In the interlude, Valerie is repeating herself. She elaborates and says, when they are with you, I hope they see my face, which is so honestly incredible, smart, like wonderful. What an incredible imagery. She says, give them any other day but Thursday. In that line, we get the title track. Thursday belongs to me. Every Thursday, I'll wait for you. I'll be beautiful for you. Every Thursday, I exist only on Thursday. What does Thursday mean? Well, I'm going to tell you. That's what this is all about, right? That the song Thursday is not up next. Up next is Life of the Party, but I'm just going to go over what Thursday means now so that we have that context going into it. Thursday isn't just another day of the week between Wednesday and Friday. It's a state of mind. It's a state of being. It is kind of like an in-between. It's like a limbo. You exist only on that day, and you are constantly waiting the other 6 days of the week for Thursday to come around. I know what that was like being in college, living for Thirsty Thursday. Some people say that Thursday is the closest day to the weekend, but I don't really buy into that because technically Friday is, and you have to go through a whole other day to get through to the weekend. But I kind of like that idea as a concept, so I included it. There's also speculation that there's wordplay with the XO included in I exist only on Thursday. It's really plausible, I think, just because it is a really interesting way to phrase that lyric, I exist only on Thursday. I'd say it's plausible, but we'll never know for sure. Now, what does it mean to exist only on Thursday? The girl, the narrator, Valerie, if you will, Valerie is telling us through these words that she knows he's with other girls every other day of the week. As long as she has Thursday, she will stay around and she will be there for him no matter what, as long as she gets Thursday. That's not necessarily true all the time, and you'll see that in the later songs on this mixtape, but she knows she's not the only one, and she's okay with that. Her loyalty overpowers her need to be with him. And so that's the end of Lonely Star, and we head straight into Life of the Party. He is welcoming us to the other side. He says, "You're lost, baby, step outside your mind. You've been really good. You've been really good. But you've been thinking about being bad since I put you on. We have now entered the other side, another state of mind, an altered state of mind, even." He says this girl's been really good in the past, but has been thinking about being bad since she met him. He's excited by the idea of getting to corrupt her a little bit, let her live a little. He's saying she's got the money for rugs, and he knows that she's had them before by looking at her nostrils. He knows she's got the money, experience, ambition, whatever. He's suggesting that she try something else now, something a little different, or mix them together even. He says he's on cloud nine and that she's behind, so she'd better pick it up and catch up. But at this time, he says she can follow him to cloud nine as well as downtown. Downtown can be slang for something else. I'm going to let you look that one up yourself, but just know I am aware of it. Let's just assume they're physically going downtown to like go out and stuff, okay? She's going to have to follow him downtown to Cloud 9. That's where Cloud 9 is, okay? We're going to Cloud 9 with him. Eventually, he says he's got two little ladies in one little room, a room full of people. I am a white girl. I cannot say that word, just so you know. A room full of people that are men. A room full of liquor. This lyric is also mimicked in Crew Love. They say it the same way in Crew Love as well. There's a room full of people. What are you following me for? No, there's a whole room full of people. Anyway, the Weeknd is gone again. Again. We are gone. He's saying gone again. He's saying you are too. So now that they've done all this debauchery together and had this bonding moment, and it's just the two of them, he's like, why don't we make this a party? You're the life of the party. Why don't we invite my friends to join? He's suggesting that if she joins in on the party, she'll become a star in the life of the party. One thing you have to understand about Thursday is that there are at least two girls going on at the same time, and they both want the Weeknd really bad, okay? One of them is the girl that's the lonely star who exists only on Thursday, and the other one is the girl in this song that's the life of the party. I'll try to differentiate if I can, but just know there's a lots of cheating going on. There's multiple women in this story. But it gets confusing because he does call the life of the party girl a star. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. Do you think there's two separate girls in Thursday or not? Moving on to the title track. Thursday. Yes. Yes, it's Thursday. We're talking about Thursday today. He says, I love her today because it's Wednesday and I won't be late. He says, I need to know if you feel when I'm free. Like, girl, do you know that it's time for you to show up for me now? I don't care what you've been doing, but you better be on time because I am. I am on time. I'm not making any sense, but I'm on time. At first glance, it's confusing him saying it's Wednesday. I think he means like he's going to literally flip the switch at midnight when it's technically Thursday. It doesn't have to be like Thursday night. It can be like Wednesday going into Thursday. Like he's going to spend all 24 hours with this girl. That's how I would interpret it. I don't agree with the genius annotation that's there. Even though it has 6 contributors, I just don't personally agree with it, and I'll let you know. They do a really good job most of the time. I just don't like this one. And it's kind of important to get that right for Thursday. Because Thursday is such an important day in the Weeknd cinematic universe. So I think that's why he's asking if she can feel that he's about to be free. Because it's Wednesday night. It's about to be the stroke of midnight like Cinderella. Like, now you're mine because it's Thursday. He then says, not on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but on Thursday. He says that a few times. He wants to make sure that you're thirsty. Now, the genius annotation on this I thought was pretty spot on and interesting. It could be an allusion to Thirsty Thursdays. If I have to explain what a Thirsty Thursday is to you, you're not old enough to be watching this video and I need you to go watch something else, okay? Thank you. But then he asks, why are you calling me? It's not Thursday. Why are you bothering me? But the girl in this situation, she doesn't really get to speak for herself because this is his song, but he's basically saying like she's calling him and it's not Thursday. And he's like, why are you bothering me? It's not your turn. Verse 2, he says, girl, I've been here for too long. Baby, don't cry. He's basically saying, girl, wait your turn. It's not your turn. I'm busy the other days of the week. That, ladies and gentlemen, is Thursday, which leads us into the zone, which is just a mind in and of itself. What does Drake say? She got me all up in my zone. Welcome to the very first collaboration between The Weeknd and Drake, The Zone. Now, this song has a runtime of 6 minutes and 58 seconds, and it's not even the longest song on this project. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. We set the scene with this really long intro. It's so long, and The Weeknd is just like half singing, half moaning. Genius says, underlying simple beat heard throughout the song mimics the lub-dub sound of a heartbeat, which I love, and I did not catch myself. This is what I mean by sometimes the annotations are good. Alright, I'm gonna read y'all some lyrics kind of rapid fire right now. Why you rushing me, baby? It's only us. Alone. Let's go ahead and put alone up on the whiteboard. Thank you. I don't want to die tonight, baby. So let me sip this slow. I'll give you what you called for. Just let me get in my zone. The first mention of zone. What does the zone mean? What the zone means to The Weeknd in this context is I'll be making love to her through you, so let me keep my eyes closed. This is where it gets a little tricky, a little muddy, because we are definitely in infidelity territory. We already know that. That was very apparent in the House of Balloons mixtape, but this is like overtly, blatantly saying, I am making love to her through you. I'm thinking about another bitch while I'm in bed with you. How do you get into the zone though? Well, specifically, The Weeknd's got about 3 steps. Number 1, get drunk. Number 2, close your eyes. Number 3, imagine you're with another girl that's not the girl that you're with. Some of the annotations are saying he's thinking about the Lonely Star girl. She's like numero uno in his head. One of my favorite lines out of all Weeknd songs comes from this song. He says, I won't see a damn thing. I can't feel a damn thing. But I'ma touch you right. And I just remember be driving down the interstate and it would be raining like crazy. And I would be like, I can't see a damn thing. So I don't know. It's got layers. It's relatable. I also think it's really funny how The Weeknd can touch a girl when he can't see or feel a damn thing. So I don't really know how that works, but that's not for me to know. He says it with such conviction. I've never questioned it until I was going through these lyrics. I've just been like, well, yeah, he is touching her. Somehow. He can't see anything, he can't feel anything, but he is touching her correctly. I'm sure that would actually happen if a man couldn't see or feel anything, but I digress. In this song, he says, I'ma lean till I fall. Alarms are sounding, okay? This is the first mention of the fall. He says, I don't give a damn. I've felt the ground before. That gets like number 1 territory on the whiteboard for now, just because of what is going to come on Echoes of Silence. He says, I left it all behind. I didn't need no one, but I'm in need tonight, baby. I've been alone for too long. So if you'll recall, let's run that back. Earlier in the song, he said it's only us alone, and now he says I've been alone for too long. I wonder how long too long is. Saying he didn't need no one, but now he needs someone. It's just this interesting cycle of like wanting to be alone, being alone, hating being alone, coming back to needing someone. Moving on to Drake's verse. Remember, this is the first time Drake and The Weeknd have ever collabed publicly. We still see this today, but this was a big deal when this happened. These barely on mixtape number 2. Like, these were released to SoundCloud. Like, they were not on streaming. He didn't have a record label, nothing. So getting a Drake feature was huge at the time. This is monumental. This put him on the map. If he wasn't on the map before, he's got a gold star next to his name now, okay? Do I know all the words to this verse? Yeah, of course I do. Let's make one thing clear. I am not a fan of Drake, and I never have been. And it's only just recently become socially acceptable to not be a fan. The only one I do really like is Girls Love Beyonce because it has to do with Beyonce, and it's a good song. He tells the story of knowing a lot of strippers with broken hearts. He says he owes people money and favors, but there are still good things ahead when these bad bitches let go. He says, walk your broken heart through that door. He's identifying that the girl's a stripper, and he's gonna get more than just a show. Yeah, because he's a rich and famous rapper, yeah. He then says she's in love with my crew, which is the first mention of crew ever. He then says she wants to try out the party lifestyle, but he's like, nah, girl, I thought that wasn't for you. And it's okay. You don't have to pretend for me. You don't have to pretend for me that you want to buy rugs and do rugs and stuff. It sounds cool as a line, but it doesn't really make sense in the story of Thursday. So I don't really know why he said that, but that's what he says. He says, it's okay. Be you. Yeah, girl, just be you. And I do this shit from my hometown. And one thing about Drake, he's gonna talk about his hometown. Okay? He's a hometown man. I need y'all to listen very closely to this part though. The North that he says the North, could be referring to Canada, where The Weeknd and Drake are both from, so he says it twice, North. But there's also a neighborhood in Memphis where Drake's father lived that was called North. Do with that what you will. I'm just the reporter here. I'm just a messenger. This does come back into play when we get initiation. Keep that in mind when we come back to initiation. I wasn't originally going to include that in here, but I think you need to know, in case this is the only video of mine you ever see. He says that your girlfriend is at our next show, but it's okay. Even if they hook up on the very first night, no need to worry. No need to panic. But they are just going to go hook up without you, okay? He says this girl doesn't really like attention and he doesn't know if she will manage with the fast life that Drake lives, you know. She doesn't like attention. He gets a lot of attention, so he doesn't know if she'll manage with that. But she has great lips and a fat ass. It's hard not to be noticed when you have great lips and a fat ass. Drake says that he's got her in his zone and that she likes the view he has in his place. And he's just letting us know that he did it all on his own. And the song ends. And that's the zone. Next, we're going to discuss The Birds, part 1. Starting off with a snare drum beat and these ethereal sounding notes crescendo us into the beginning of the song. Coming off the zone, he's telling his baby girl that he was thinking about the whole time he was in the zone. Look what he did. And also, he doesn't care what he did. Probably because he's so gone, if you will. He felt it all. And that's okay. I thought he wasn't feeling anything, but I guess he felt it all. No one's going to care enough to catch you fall. Count 'em. Second mention of the fall. Except this time, fall means don't you fall in love. Don't make me make you fall in love. He says, I swear I'm just a bird. Which, he used the term bird in the chorus of the party and the after party. In the chorus, when Victoria's singing, you always go to the parties to pluck the feathers off all the birds. That's what we're talking about when we talk about birds. We're all birds now. This song's main premise is asking the question, can two people just hook up and be friends and be nothing more? That is the question we're asking with The Birds part 1. The answer is like, no. You'll probably fall in love with The Weeknd first because he's that guy, you know? He says, you tried to warn me, but I'm warning you. Girl, I'll show you. This is no game. You'll be falling to a point of no return. In the bridge, he says that he knows she has a crush on him and not to lie about it. He says that the E of being with him has got a hold on you. He compares the feeling of rugs to the feeling of being with him. In the outro, All of the drums drop out, and we just have him repeating the chorus in a much more intentional way over soothing and gentle guitar. And that's the Birds Part 1. So the Birds Part 2 is a very jarring juxtaposition to the Birds Part 1. The first part has this like raucous drums and guitar and all this stuff, and we start the Birds Part 2 off with a girl crying and the sound of a shot by echoing lyrics from the Birds Part 1, continuing the story. He says, with a guy like me. With a guy like me. That's what he says. Except he's saying words I can't say. If you'll recall in the last song, he was saying, I know you like me. Just admit it. I know you like me. And in the Birds Part 2, she has finally cracked. He's got her to crack, and she's saying, okay, fine, I do like you. What about it? She's saying, please, mercy me, mercy me. Let me fall out of love before you, her, before you, her. He says she begged and gave him all her. And now his back hurts for some reason. This whole time I thought he was saying now her back hurts because she gave him all her pills and now she's in pain. But no, his back hurts. He's saying she's lost all her control. The chorus is actually kind of surprising. He says she's pleading on the floor. Now she's pleading on the floor, okay? She says it won't be long before she falls out of love. She's like, oops, my bad. I did catch feelings for you. So we can't do this anymore, but can you please let me fall out of love before you go with another girl? And I really don't think he's listening. I think he's kind of like making fun of her for saying like, can you please just wait till I don't love you anymore? The post-chorus is actually more interesting than the actual chorus, though. It's a sample from Martina Topley Bird's song, Sandpaper Kisses, a song from the soundtrack of the video game Fahrenheit. I know, that's just gotta be the deepest cut you could ever think of, but here we go. Sandpaper Kisses, Paper Cut Bliss. I don't know what this is, but it all leads to this. You're gonna leave her. You have deceived her. You're just a bird. Just a bird. He goes on to say, I tried to kiss you, but you never let me miss you. Alluding back to a couple songs ago when he was saying that girl was calling on Wednesday or Tuesday or Monday or Friday and it just wasn't her turn yet. So that's what he's talking about. Like, you never let me miss you. You wanted me all to yourself all these days, and you just know that I couldn't have done that. The Genius annotation says that she could never let him miss an opportunity for intimacy, even when he was with other girls. So I guess it's also saying, like, he was thinking about her on days that were not Thursday, but he's also kind of over her now because she didn't play hard to get, I guess. He says, I'm not him. As in, I'm not the one. I'm not the one you want. I'm not that guy. He's just a bird in case you forgot. He says, no one forced you to fall in love with me. Actually, no. I begged you not to fall in love with me. I spent a whole song talking about it, okay? There's another Genius annotation that says, birds are nomadic, moving from tree to tree and never being able to nest in one place for too long. Similarly, Abel concludes that it's still time for him to move on. The song ends with the sound of crows cawing. It's kind of intense. This leads us into the next song, and we're finally going to find out what the heck Gone means. So let's get into it. You might have thought that The Zone is the Weeknd's longest song ever. No, it doesn't even hold a candle to Gone. Gone has a runtime of 8 minutes and 6 seconds, and it's his longest song. On Genius, there's an annotated complex interview. There wasn't really a lot of information about this mixtape like I had for the last one, but this quote really stuck with me. This is what The Weeknd said about Gone. He said, there are two ways of making music for me. There's a calculated route, like, I know exactly what I'm going to do with this song. And then there's the free mind. That was one of the free-minded records. It was all subconscious. I'll make the music and loop it, and then I'll go in the booth and start singing for almost 45 minutes straight. And these are not words. This is gibberish. It's a songwriter language. There are lyrics on Thursday. I don't even know what the I said. Gone was a complete freestyle. 8 minutes long. This is our third, count 'em, Third, two-part song, not including the birds, because those are two separate songs called part one and two. The first half of the audio has this like twinkling keyboard sound over a syncopated beat. It kind of sounds like shoes rolling around in the dryer in a positive way. And the whole first half is so unserious. It's talking about doing all kinds of illicit activities. He says,
Break it.
drop it, drink it, spill it, baby, touch your body. Just to give you an idea of what's going on. And there's other things that entail with those activities. I'm just giving you like a frame of reference. He says, girl, why don't you what you heard about me? Because he's been gone. In this instance, gone means two different things. Number one, in a mental sense, and number two, in a physical sense. Like he's not with his baby anymore and he's off with this new girl doing stuff now. We transition into the second part of the song with just his vocals. Everything else drops out. It's just him going, except it sounds a lot better than that. And then the second verse starts and it's long. Okay? It's long. He says, I hope I make it home. You'll be thinking love. And he's talking about his girl back home who's hoping he makes it home tonight. But he's not going to be home tonight. Spoiler, he doesn't make it home. He heads into another rug-fueled haze in the second part of Gone. He says, my lungs so muddy, I love the way it tastes. Drink it till I'm ugly, baby. What does muddy mean? I was wondering this. I don't remember him saying muddy a lot, but he said it a lot on Hurry Up Tomorrow. Muddy is basically a term for like how thick this drink he's drinking is. And that's all I'm gonna say. He loves the way it tastes, and by ugly, he's basically becoming completely gone. Completely inebriated. Then he's talking about what him and his girl are going to do, and he talks about their ages. He says, I'm only 21 and she's 23, and they're gonna hook up. And it's her birthday also. Whoever this is, it's her birthday. By the end of the verse, we get our very first mention of low life. He says, low life for life. And in the outro, he says he's gone about 15 times, just in case we didn't understand from this whole song. But that's one thing that I love, and I think a lot of people love about The Weeknd, is that he does repetition really well. You would think him saying low life in songs 10 years from now would get annoying. No, we love it. It's like an Easter egg. It's literally like a drug to us, getting to hear when things connect. And this is why he is neck and neck with Taylor Swift constantly on the charts. Not to pit two artists against each other, but I'm just saying they have the discography and plant seeds in people's minds in a way that makes them want to get involved and listen and pay attention to the little details. And I just love it. I love it. This leads us into Rolling Stone. Now, if you're not sat for Rolling Stone, you better sit down because this one's a doozy, okay? There's a reason it was a single. I have to go get my whiteboard. Oh god, I'm gonna have to unmirror this too. There are 6 layers to Rolling Stone. Do you feel like you're back in elementary school? Do teachers even have whiteboards anymore? In 1508, yes, that's a year, Erasmus of Rotterdam published a volume of ancient Greek and Latin proverbs. One of the Greek proverbs translates in English to, a rolling stone does not gather algae. The Latin one translates to, a rolling stone is not covered with moss. So we've got both those quotes. This one's Greek, this one's Latin. I'm just going to have you remember that, okay? Take notes, people. They're basically saying if you're constantly wandering around, you can't develop relationships, gain earthly possessions, and settle down and all that stuff. The failure to gather moss metaphorically represents not a desirable freedom and independence, but rather social irresponsibility. In 1611, in the French English dictionary, a rolling stone means a vagabond, a wanderer, streetwalker, highway beater, rolling stone. They're like synonymous with each other. In 1950, I know, over like 300 years later. A song by Muddy Waters is called Rolling Stone. Then, in 1962, the young British musician Brian Jones was forming a new blues band. On a phone call with a club owner, he needed to come up with a name for his band. By his own account, he panicked, and then he saw the Muddy Waters album with the song Rolling Stone on it. That's where he got the idea for the Rolling Stones. Not kidding. That's okay. So now we have the Rolling Stones. Isn't that cool? Just 3 years later, 1965, we have Like a Rolling Stone by Bob Dylan. Okay? The Weeknd song echoes Dylan's lyrics when he says, "How does it feel? Oh, how does it feel? To be on your own with no direction, no home, like a complete unknown, like a Rolling Stone." Hey, bet you didn't know that you were going to get the name of that Timothy Chalamet movie in here. Yeah, it's all connected. 2 years after that, 1967. Sorry, I wrote that 7 weird. Jan Wenner and Ralph Gleason founding the Rolling Stone magazine. We've got 6 different meanings of Rolling Stone that lead to this song in particular. And actually, there's a 7th one that I can't put on a whiteboard because it's explicit. But it basically means a the end of the Merriam-Webster article that I quoted all of this stuff from says, "How better to epitomize that youthful impulse than with a 2,000-year-old metaphor?" And I thought that was funny. The genius annotation refers to, and I think I'm just going to bleep out those words because I think you need to see my mouth say the words. Okay. Ooh. I did that whole whiteboard thing without my microphone. I hope you could hear me. Sorry about that, guys. While this song is essentially serenading the lonely star, it also covers a larger metaphor. Instead of settling for the original sound and success of House of Balloons and Now Thursday, The Weeknd is essentially telling us, I'm not stopping here, I'm going all the way to the top. I don't know if you know this, but I am going to be famous, is basically what he's saying. He acknowledges in this song that he wants to grow his career and he hopes his fans will follow him through this change. He details this in an open letter to fans that was released in 2012, and I'll put it on screen here, but you can go look it up and read it. It was alluded to with the Hurry Up Tomorrow letter. They compared those two. They're very similar. And also, the Trilogy cover is derived from the music video to this song. That's just him in black and white, like lip syncing. But I did want to point out that the guitar melody for this track was influenced by Andre Nicotina's Ayo for Yayo.
Listen to the story I'm about to tell. Another tale about that Yale.
Look it up, listen to it. It's not exactly the same. It's inspired. They didn't have to get sample credit because it wasn't exactly the same melody, but it's inspired. Also, with Hurry Up Tomorrow, in interviews, I think he was talking about how somebody had asked him, "You've never done guitar like this before." And that just made me laugh because I was like, have you ever listened to Rolling Stone? Like one of his first singles ever? The guitar in that is beautiful. After all those tangents I've just had, back to the song. He says, "They just recognize I'm in a life without a home, so this recognition's not enough." Which is very similar to the Bob Dylan song, and I could honestly do a whole entire like deep dive comparison to the Bob Dylan song like a Rolling Stone, because the way that song came about was very fascinating. Let me know if you want me to do that. Basically, he's saying he's starting to gain recognition after his first mixtape, and he's starting to see a path laid before him. He says, "Yeah, I know, I've got my issues. Why do you think I flow?" Where flow can mean a constant flow of girls and rugs, but it can also mean flow as in rapping or freestyle. We're continuing on this rug journey. He says, "I'm gonna keep on smoking till I can't hit another note," which is just such a young person thing to say. Cigarette? Why not? In the chorus, he says, "But until then, I got you. Until you're used to my face and my mystery fades, I got you." If you'll recall, in the House of Balloons series I did, I talk about how he didn't do interviews for a really long time and people didn't know if The Weeknd was a band or a single artist or anything. Nobody had seen his face ever. All of his album art is just like of things that are not him. The mystery is finally fading. He's aware of that too. He's making plans and making moves to go commercial soon with Trilogy. I'm just going to go ahead and read you what I see in verse 3. He says, "So baby, love me before they all love me, until you won't love me because they'll all love me." He says, "I'll be different. I think I'll be different. I hope I'm not different. And I hope you'll still listen. Before they all love me." That little section in verse 3 is very real for up and coming artists. He is speculating on the future and what's going to happen next. He says, "I think I'll be different, but I hope I'm not like he's hoping fame doesn't change him, but it probably will. I hope you'll still listen." And that's it. That's all he wants, really. Rolling Stone is so fascinating because it's almost like a letter to the fans more than it is about like the regular conversations we've been having with Thursday about rugs and sex and all this stuff. Then he repeats the chorus again, and we head into the end of the original Thursday mixtape, which is Heaven or Las Vegas. Some inspiration from this song may be derived from the Cockatoo Twins, who have an album called Heaven or Las Vegas. They were sampled on House of Balloons, The Knowing, which is also a track 9, if you didn't know. This is probably one of the last times we'll hear about his father until I Can't Wait to Get There. He really doesn't talk about his father a lot at all. He talks a lot more about his mother because his mother raised him and his father wasn't around. He says, "I'm paying for all my father's sins, and I'm going to thank him for you." In the beginning of the Lyric Genius annotations, they pull out this Bible verse quote from Exodus. I'm not going to go into all of that. I'm just going to tell you right now, basically, he's saying he has daddy issues, and that's why he's written 2 albums about living for the fast life, the low life, you know. He says, "My serotonin's gone a while ago. Girl, it's gone because of you. It's been gone because of you." Gone reference. In the chorus, there are some religious references, which is why I say, like, you can look up that Exodus quote, but I really don't think it matters given what we learn later on. But in the chorus, he says, they say they want heaven. They say they want God. Well, I say I got heaven. Well, I say I am God. He goes on to say in verse 2, "I never prayed a moment in my life. And girl, I'm rewarded with you." Real fans know that the next track on Trilogy is Valerie, but this is the end of the original Thursday mixtape. Valerie's considered a bonus track for the Thursday mixtape that was released with Trilogy in November of 2012. Going for our victory lap, Valerie opens up with, "There comes a time in a man's life where he must take responsibility for the choices he has made, and there are certain things that he must do and things that he must say." Ladies, I'm going to take a moment right now. Men listening, if this applies to you as well. If someone is cheating on you and they continuously do it, but they keep saying things like, "I love you, I need you, I only want you," leave him, because this song is like a testament to what these kind of people do and how they act. I really like the word choice in this message, which is that he must say what he goes on to say in the chorus to keep his girl. Let's tie them together. Things that he must say, like "I love you," and "I need you," and "I only want you," and nobody's going to know if it's true. Nobody's going to know if we're telling the truth. He says he's never hesitated to cheat on her like this, but now for some reason he is. And he wishes he could let his girl know. We can infer from the lyrics maybe he doesn't want to cheat on her, but doesn't know any other way in the transition from verse 2 to the chorus. He says, "I wish I could let you know, because I love you." In the bridge, he says, "Valerie, I know you can see through me." Plot twist, "I know you can see through my lies, Valerie. You just choose to never know. So not only Did he think this girl didn't know and he was just going on about his day? But she actually did know. She's just choosing to look past it because being with him is better than being alone. Ladies and gentlemen, that's just not true. That's just not true. Being alone is so much better than being in pain because you're the only one you got. Okay, that's my moral advice for the day. Not only does he not have to tell her, but she already knows. He says she doesn't know exactly what he's up to because she turns a blind eye, but she'd rather this than be alone. He tells her that he loves her, that he needs her, and that he only wants her. But nobody, not even himself, knows the truth. And that's the end of the Thursday portion of Trilogy. I hope you've enjoyed this installment. I promise I will not make you wait as long for the next one. Follow me for more lyric analysis and let me know what you want to see me do next. I am going to have to do Echoes of Silence next, but what do you want to see me do after that? And thank you to anybody who found this series like well after I had posted it and let me know that you really enjoyed it. And there's more to come. I'm like a Rolling Stone, baby. There's only up from here. Thank y'all so much. And go watch my Bonnaroo vlog from last year that's out now.